Hello, I am Seni Park, the head of Seni Park Mind Coaching. Today, I will share some important tips about human relationships. I recently watched a movie called The Witness, and there was a line from an autistic girl that went like this: "Are you a good person?" Watching that, I also thought about it. Whether I am a good person or a bad person, in fact, being a good or bad person can vary depending on the situation. Someone who is considered a good person here might be seen as a bad person elsewhere. So, distinguishing between good and bad people is something we do when we are very young, like in kindergarten or elementary school. A more mature way to distinguish people would be to consider whether someone is compatible with me or not. It would be great if everyone around us were perfectly compatible with us, right? But you know that's impossible. However, what is clear is that if I follow, understand, and practice the many kinds of knowledge and universal values in this world, I will be able to associate with people who are composed of better qualities. Today, I would like to offer a few helpful insights on this topic by sharing 3 simple tips to make your relationships more harmonious. The first tip is to accurately understand the structure of the relationships you are involved in. One example is a triangular form of relationship, and another is a circular form of relationship. What is a circular form? It refers to a relationship where you are at the center of the circle and you give the same attention and love to everyone around you, whether they are people you've just met or those you've known for 10 or 20 years. Is that possible? It's impossible because if you give this much attention to someone from the center, then inevitably, as a human, you will develop a psychological state where you try to receive a similar amount of attention and love back from that person. However, despite that, there are many people in the world who try to maintain this circular form of human relationships. What is the reason for that? It's probably because they received conditional love from their parents when they were young. What this means is that parents would say, if you can't do this, you're not my child. When you become accustomed to this conditional form of love, even in relationships with others, when a friend asks, can you lend me this? But you really don't want to. You don't want to lend it, but the abandonment anxiety you received from your parents unconsciously resurfaces, making you think, if I don't lend this, they will abandon me. With this mindset, okay, you might end up acting contrary to your true feelings, thinking, it's okay, you can borrow it, even if you don't want to. This can lead to internal resentment or anger. The idea of giving equal attention and love to everyone is a mindset held by people with psychological issues, so you should never go down this path. You should approach it like a triangle. For example, even someone like Barack Obama has a small number of very close confidants and family at the top of the triangle who receive his attention and love. The next level includes more people, but they are less close than those at the top. And then there are those you interact with less frequently. And the next level consists of people you just greet. This kind of structured differentiation in relationships is more normal and desirable. So after saying this, a student asked me if Barack Obama was an exception, because according to an article, he showed how close he was by high-fiving all the janitors at the White House. My response was that Barack Obama probably just high-fived the janitors and then went about his business. Therefore, remember that no matter how powerful someone is, it's important to differentiate in relationships to avoid problems. So you have to be kind to everyone. You don't have to care about everyone. Never think like this and let go of such thoughts. After all, we humans don't even live for 100 years, do we? Therefore, just focus on understanding your own values and thoughts and live well by giving attention and love to those who can feel good with you. Trying to align with everyone will only make you very tired and invite you to a more painful path. The second tip is this: listen carefully to what others want to say, but usually people find that difficult. It's because they don't listen to others and only talk about what they want to say. A psychological experiment was conducted where a person goes to a party. The same person, but at one party, this person kept talking dominantly alone. They didn't listen and continued to lead the conversation themselves. And at a second different party, this person listened to other stories halfway and talked about their own stories halfway. And at a third different party, This person actively listened to others' stories and responded enthusiastically. Really, that's amazing. In this way, they thoroughly listened to others' stories. They hardly talked about themselves. It was the same person, but who do you think was considered the most attractive and someone they wanted to meet again? You can guess, right? The third person, who hardly talked about themselves and only listened to others, was considered the most attractive, and many people even perceived this person as having excellent speaking skills, despite saying very little. Shall we think about it? Why do people perceive someone as cool and attractive just because they listen to them? Well, humans always want to be focused on and immersed in something. We are born with that nature. However, it's hard for someone to take a deep interest in what a stranger is saying. However, when someone has an experience and a memory that has fully captured everyone's focus and immersion, and the other person asks about it, those emotions and thoughts from that time vividly come to mind. In doing so, they become engrossed. And when they can freely talk about something they like, that person feels very happy and joyful. So, if you are someone who has the skill to continually bring up things that the other person wants to talk about in front of you, you will have tremendous power in human relationships. And the third tip is, to never engage in arguments. That's what it is. What is an argument? It's fighting with others, with words. In fact, when you fight, logic often doesn't work. Let's take an example of a person. Does the serial killer Yu Young-chul, who once caused a huge stir in the world, fully recognize that he is a bad person? The answer is absolutely not. People, no matter how evil they may seem, have to live with the mindset that they are reasonably good. People. That's how humans are by nature. Could you live if you thought you were a bad person? Even those people think to themselves, I'm a decent person. I'm quite admirable in my own way. These thoughts may seem incomprehensible and nonsensical to us, but they actually live and think this way as human beings. So, no matter how evil, even when you see a villain or someone who seems inhuman, you must first remember that they also think of themselves as decent people. So, you're a bad guy. You're someone who dismembers people. You're not like that. If you continue in this manner, it will lead to big trouble. That person will not understand you. It means they won't accept what you say. Never argue with others. Why continue arguing when it won't work anyway? Time. It's a waste of energy. Instead, immerse and focus yourself uniquely in your field. This way, you can impress others, gain wealth as someone who inspires, and live feeling great satisfaction, happiness, and excitement. Why engage in pointless arguments that don't work? Keep this in mind. And even if you only remember these 3 tips today, I am confident that you will present a much more impressive image in your relationships than before. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Stay strong.